والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. تروي صفية بنت حيي رضي الله عنها أنها قدمت على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في العشر الأواخر من رمضان وهو معتكف في المسجد. Safiya is narrating a short incident when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was doing i'tikaf at the masjid. And it was one of his traditions or habits that he visits his wives every single day after Salatul Asr. He checks on the 9 of them, asks her, do you need anything, do you want anything? He comes and says salam. They get to see him, to hug him, to kiss him, to get the portion, the dose of love from him. But when it comes the last 10 nights of Ramadan, he's totally isolated. They don't see him until the Eid comes. And Safiya, she couldn't hold it. So one of those nights, as Rasulullah was doing i'tikaf, she comes to him after midnight. Everyone is asleep. And no one was there to see her sneaking into the masjid, into the men's side. And she comes to Rasulullah and she says, فَرَأَيْتُ فِي نَاحِيَةٍ مِّن نَوَاحِي الْمَسْجِدِ. I saw him in one of the corners sitting and reciting Quran. وَكَأَنَّهُ الْقَمَرُ فِي طَلْعَتِهِ. It's as if the moon was sitting there, a light surrounding him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. She comes to him, تقول فحادثته وحادثني. I sat him, he was surprised. What are you doing here? قالت يا رسول الله اشتقت لك. I just miss you and I came here to spend some time with you. تقول فحادثني وحادثته ساعة. When she says ساعة, that's an Arab's way of saying like we spoke and we had a chat for a long time, not just 1 hour. We spoke and spoke and spoke and sat down and got my dose of him. I got enough of him. And I decided to go back home. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam surprises her and he stands up, holds her hand, and he leaves with her. Now look at that. He's leaving his i'tikaf, his precious times, that please leave me alone. I'm just getting to the masjid to get my time, and yet you're following me again. But Rasulullah holds her hand and he leaves his i'tikaf to take her. It's dangerous. It's after midnight. He wants to make sure that his beloved wife arrives home safely. He holds her hand and he walks with her. As he's walking, 2 Sahabis among the Ansar, they're coming by. When they saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam holding the hand of a lady, they acted like they didn't see anything and they started walking fastly. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam calls them out and he says, "Ala raslikuma, ala raslikuma, come here. Slow down. Innaha Safiya, zawjati. This is Safiya, my wife." He started explaining himself. Those 2 Sahabis said, Ya Rasulullah, awana dhunnu bika su'a? Would we ever think of you in a bad way? Do you think we would think you're hanging out with some foreign lady after midnight or something? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave the lesson to them and those who would listen that hadith after them. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَيَجْرِي مِنِ ابْنِ آدَمَ مَجْرَى الدَّمِ وَإِنِّي خَشِيتُ أَنْ يَقْذِفَ فِي قُلُوبِكُمَا. Shaitan runs in the son of Adam just like his blood running in his body. And I was afraid that he would think of something else. So I had to explain myself. Story comes to an end. Abundance, many lessons that you can take out of this story. The first and the light one is don't put yourself in places where people would think bad of you. And when you do, you make sure you explain yourself out, just like the greatest man whom no one would or should or could think bad of him, explain himself. Walking with a lady at the end of the night, they can't see her face, yet Rasulullah said, "Ala raslikuma, innaha Safiya." And this is why there is a part of the burden and the responsibility falls on your shoulder. As Rasulullah think, don't think bad of your brother. اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. It's also on yourself. Don't allow others to think bad of you. On the other hand, We shall share a quick reminder with the people and our brothers who are doing i'tikaf today. As Rasulullah teaches us one beautiful lesson about the i'tikaf. Al-Imam al-Dhahabi says, ما من سنة إلا فعلها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وتركها. There is no sunnah except Rasulullah would do it and he leaves it from time to time. Except i'tikaf. ما تركها مدخل المدينة. He never stopped or paused or left i'tikaf since he entered Medina. Those last 10 nights are precious. And that's a recommendation for everyone to have his portion of i'tikaf. And people think that i'tikaf should be all the last 10 nights, but no. As you just enter for Salat al-Fajr, make the intention for i'tikaf. You're staying here for 45 minutes. That's a good dose of i'tikaf. You come to Salat al-Taraweeh 2 hours, plus all the way to Qiyam al-Layl, that's i'tikaf. Always make the intention of i'tikaf. And from adab al-i'tikaf, that when you come, you're fully focused on the ibadah. And only the ibadah, salah and dhikr and istighfar and tasbih. Not even, look how the ulama would drag it, not even seeking knowledge. Not even opening the books of tafsir and listening and giving lectures. That should be said to myself. It's all focused on the salah, on dhikr, on Quran, on istighfar, on tasbih. Get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some brothers who do i'tikaf, may Allah forgive us and forgive them, they come here, they are trying to run away from the hassle and the headache of their wives. And they just take a vacation at the masjid. But this is not a time of vacation. Some of them take it as a hotel, as a holiday inn, as a 4 seasons, and they sleep at the days and the nights at the masjid. Some of them would bring the laptops and the phones and start working and sending, texting and messages. What is the benefit that comes out of i'tikaf if this is what you spend in i'tikaf? Last but not least, Rasulullah tells us that there is so much leniency and easiness in how and when and how and where you can leave your i'tikaf and go back to your wife in order to serve your family, to visit someone who is sick, to go for a funeral. All these are legit reasons to leave your i'tikaf and do another act of ibadah. Just like Rasulullah took Safiya to her house, to him that was a more precious ibadah than the i'tikaf itself. And it's more than enough the hadith that Rasulullah says, لَأَنْ يَمْشِيَ أَحَدُكُمْ فِي حَاجَةِ أَخِيهِ خَيْرٌ لَهُ مِنْ أَنْ يَعْتَكِفَ شَهْرًا فِي مَسْجِدِ هَذَا. To help your brother out, that is better than i'tikaf for a whole month, not at the Southwest Masjid, at the Masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Barakallahu li wa lakum wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Last but not least, Salat al-Fajr Iqamah will take place at 6 a.m. starting from tomorrow morning. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال.